Hello, this is Never Gallimore from the Dallas Cowboys, and I want to give a major shout out to Mike Tag. Keep bringing the hype to the Cowboys Nation. We love and appreciate it. Now, can you dig it? Let's get it.
Hey, I told you guys! Don't go burying us just one game! All I've heard for the last 5 weeks is we want Dallas! So all you haters, you come down to me! You fuel the fire! Because I want it! Are you ready? Hey, you dig it!
What is up, Cowboys Nation? Your boy Mike Tag. You see, I'm already game ready. You know, I'm getting already too hyped up for this game. My wife, she already left. She said, Mike, I don't want to deal with this for 4 more days. So I'm heading to Vegas. I told her, you have a good time. Don't max out the credit cards, but I need to get in mode, almost like Rocky 4 mode. I got to get, I'm not saying we're fighting a Von Drago, but Tom Brady's the GOAT. So we're going to get this party started. But before I do, make sure you hit that subscribe, like, share, spread the word. We got some good things that are going to be happening, especially as we get going. We hit our goals. We got some subscriber goals that we want to hit. You guys make it. Maybe one of you boys are going to be sitting with me in the club seats next season watching some Cowboys football. So you guys make sure you stay tuned for that. But we're going to get into it right away because we have obviously 2 very special guests. First one I'm going to bring on, of course, let's get this thing working right, is my man Kelly K-9. How you feeling, brother?
What's going on, Big Mike?
Oh,
feeling good.
Man, I'm excited, man. I'm ready for this game. All the talking, all the noise. We're hearing all this stuff. So like Apollo Creed said, it's showtime. We got to get this thing rolling.
That's right. It's the build up to showtime. All the nerves and anxiety and everything that goes into it. But it's almost that time.
Yeah. So I don't want to waste any more time. So we're going to get into this Buccaneer game. And I'm bringing on, this is a man, if you're not following him, you better. He's a Tampa Bay radio TV legend. Even though he's not a Cowboys fan, he's neutral. But, he's Tampa Bay. So he's supporting he covers the Bucs. So he's going to be objective. We're going to make sure he keeps it fair and balanced across the line. But I got to bring in my man, Rock Riley. What is up? How are you doing today?
It's winter, go home. It's the best time of year. Players today in the locker room, we're talking about young guys. If you don't understand how the juice, the pressure, every single play, it's just the best time of year. I'm doing great, Mike. I'm doing great, guys.
Now, I've seen you down there. I've seen you down at the training camp, or not training camp, but their facilities. Beautiful facilities. Did some flag football there for some high school teams I was able to check out. Not as nice as a Star. Maybe I'm going to be biased. I don't know if you've been there. It's not as nice as a Star.
No,
right?
Not even close. Not even close.
Okay, but all the talk, the Buccaneers, they're 8-9. They hadn't had those great games. What is the feeling in Tampa Bay? I know I live in Tampa Bay, so I know the feeling with the fans yelling at me with my Cowboys flags on and my sticker and stuff. But inside the Tampa Bay locker room, what is their confidence level? How they feeling?
That is a great question. So today, even though we're doing this on Thursday, it seemed like it was a Wednesday because they have the Monday night game. All across the NFL, Tuesday is always the off day. It used to be in the old days where players, they would come in for treatment, but they would also come in and watch film. Well, now they have their tablets, so they don't have to come in on a Tuesday. Coaches come in, when they put together a game plan. This is for every team in the NFL. And then Wednesday morning, 6 a.m., when the early guys that have to lift the younger guys, and about 7 o'clock, they get in. They got the game plan ready. Well, today, even though it's Thursday, they get an extra day. It felt like it was a Wednesday, but it's a full practice day. It's the install day. So I'm going there. I'm like, I want to see what the vibe is. They're 8-9. They've had a terrible season. They're very fortunate, and they know it, to be in the playoffs. What's the vibe going to be like? So I get there, and it was kind of like business as usual. So I even asked Todd Bowles, head coach Todd Bowles, at the press conference, are you getting a vibe that the players sense this is a do or die game? And he gave kind of like a standard answer. Usually he gives a decent answer, standard answer. But to another reporter, he said, it's only like Wednesday during the week. So you got, well, Thursday. So you still have Friday, and you have Saturday, you have Sunday. You got all day on Monday to wait for the game. You can't get too hyped. I know we're getting hyped. You can get hyped, but the players can't get all like, hey, this is it. So that was a pretty good answer.
Yeah.
I think that they know that they are very fortunate, but they're also not hyping or harping on it because this is it. No one's going to care what you've done. No one's going to care whether Dak has had 7 interceptions, or no one's going to care whether Brady and the offense haven't had any rhythm. This is it. It is a new season. And I think that was kind of the vibe today. Everybody that's playing at this time of year, they're going to bring their A game. That's the kind of vibe I got at One Buck Place today.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to, to jump on that, and then Kelly definitely jump in. I'm seeing some of the press conference, and obviously Mike Evans, he caught a little bit of, they call it bulletin board material. I read the whole thing. He didn't say anything wrong. I understand exactly what he said. He was actually complimenting the Cowboys. He said they're not they don't do scheme all crazy. They're going to go right at you. You know what they're going to do. They're challenging you to stop them. And so I think the media hype, that's what gets me going. The way NFL and network and ESPN,
Sure.
I don't even know why we're even playing. I figured the Cowboys just go forfeit, but we're going to show up. We're going to go down there anyway and just see what happens.
No, I even noticed it. I mean, oh my God, because it's America's team and it's Brady. That's why they pick Monday Night Football, guys, because of the ratings, the eyeballs. ESPN has got everybody coming. Stephen A. Smith, they're doing shows in the morning at the Tampa Convention Center. They're bringing all their shows to a wild card game. It's because of Brady. It's because of the Cowboys. Let's face it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kelly, jump in.
Yeah, that's definitely right. I saw a thing today where it was some of the top viewed games in the NFL, and the Cowboys were like right up there in every single game. So I can guarantee you this Monday night game with Cowboys and Tampa Bay, I think it'll top every playoff game that's played this week in terms of eyeballs to the television, because everybody's tuning in.
And Brady as well, man. Even though I know he's 45 years old and all this and this is, but it's still. Is Brady, you want to watch, is he done? Did Father Time catch up? I don't think it did physically, but obviously, the film will show he hasn't been what he was, but still it's Brady. And is he going to play somewhere else? Is he kind of done here? Is he going to really retire this time? I was talking to somebody in the building that deals with Brady, and he was telling me that Brady does not want to do what he did last year where he flip-flopped. He retired, and then he was like, huh? And then he was talking to Miami, and now he's going to come back. He doesn't want to do that. So he's probably going to take his time, and it's hard to get a sense, man. I'm watching him at practice, and all the stuff he's doing with his footwork still. They compete like the 4 quarterbacks. They do this thing where they got to throw it in the net. They got to hit the crossbar. He's still like really competing. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't think he's going to just walk away. Plus, he doesn't have a wife that's telling him, I don't want you playing. I can't stand Tampa. Giselle, she hated Tampa. Oh, I hate Tampa. He doesn't have that anymore. He's a bachelor. So I don't know. Is he really going to, go to business meetings? I don't know, but I don't know if it's going to be here.
Yeah, and I don't know. All I'll say is I'm not a Tampa Bay Buck fan, but if who doesn't like Tampa Bay as an area to live, they've got some issues. And maybe she does, but getting into the game, let's get into the game. The thing I'm looking at, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't see this Tampa Bay team doing it. I said it publicly. If Dallas Cowboys loses, it's an embarrassment and the heads are going to roll. So the game's usually going to be won in the trenches. Tampa Bay has been decimated, shuffling the offensive line. Dallas has 2. They both, that's something they've got in common, but Dallas, I think, has been able to kind of, fend that off with some veterans. Tyron Smith was out, then they lose Steele, but then Tyron Smith's coming back. They place him in there. They had Peters when they lost Biotis. They slide everyone over. So they've been doing more shuffling, where Tampa Bay has just been decimated with injuries. What's the front on that? Are they going to be full strength, or what's your thoughts on the Tampa Bay offensive line?
You hit it on the head. It's every week you're waiting for the Buccaneers offense with the stars that they have, name recognition to like come through. And they haven't done it all year. Even the game where Brady finally went deep to Mike Evans for 3 long touchdowns, they still were bad in the red zone. They were bad on third downs. Brady got a little bit of more time finally in that. And we were breaking it down. Last year in the NFL, Brady and Roethlisberger, believe it or not, were 1-2, 2-1 in getting rid of the ball the fastest, faster than any other quarterback in the NFL. This year, Brady has been getting rid of it another half second faster because he doesn't trust his line. Plus, he's 45 years old. He knew he had to play or the Bucs season is screwed. So he played every single game because he's getting rid of it so quick. That's why he doesn't take the time to try to throw the deep shots. Now you have a center, Hainsey, he pulled a hamstring in last week's game. He was limited today. Oh, there's a lot of hype on Ryan Jensen. They're all pro and he's been practicing, but he hasn't been able to go full go. When I'm there for the first 20 minutes, when you're allowed to watch media availability, he'll do some drills. And then when the ones are in there, he just stands back. How is he going to play an entire NFL wild card playoff game not having played? They're not saying, I don't think Jensen could go. And if he could go, he hasn't had any activity in a whole year. So that's a huge factor. Donovan Smith, their left tackle, had been banged up, hadn't played well. He's played better the last 3 games. You're going to put Micah Parsons on him. And then Tristan Wirfs is your only Pro Bowler now. He's on the right side, and he has been injured, but he's learning to play hurt. He was even telling us that's the one thing he's picking up on Brady. Like Brady's not Superman. Like he's hurt. A lot of times you don't even see it. Last year, it was a time where he wasn't even on the injury report and the guy was hurt. But he's trying to learn how to play hurt, but he hasn't been full strength. So I think you're right, Mike. I think it comes down to that. And they really haven't been able to put an entire game together because of the offensive line. And I don't know how that magically is just going to happen on Monday night.
Yeah. And the other thing I was just going to say is the running game. So with the offensive line, you guys, I mean, going back to week 1, 4 months ago. So, Kelly and I were talking about, I mean, we're a different team. You're a different team. But
Right.
Tampa, that was their best game running the football was against the Cowboys.
That was it.
Is it just disappeared, or has the offensive line been the biggest problem with that running game? I know you got, Fournette's been down. You've got the other running back I haven't seen a ton of Tampa games. Have they just given up running the ball or just not successful?
No, they still try. They still try, especially on first down. And it's always right in the middle of the line. They're terrible at it because they try to establish it because Brady is so good with play action. That's another thing that has been taken away this year. Lenny is not a breakaway guy. He's a power runner. Now, yeah, he had a good game against the Cowboys in the first game. That seems like it was like 3 years ago. And they don't do a good job scheming. They are dead last when it comes to rushing in every single category. And again, it's a playoffs. Do you think you just turn it like this and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the running game is going to get going? So no, that's another factor, man. It's been bad all year long.
Well, Kelly, you got anything you want to add on that?
Well, I was just gonna ask with that, with that being said, obviously if they can't get the run going, that means that they're gonna, they have to resort to put it on Tom Brady. But just in your opinion, if Tampa Bay is gonna pull off this win, what do they got to do versus the Cowboys to get this win?
I think that they have to get off to a fast start. They've got to get ahead. They're not going to be able to play catch up. Now, I will tell you, when they go hurry up, no huddle, they're very, very good. They do that a lot at the end of the games, and Brady goes down no problem. And Byron Leftwich, we've even asked him about this, and he got on me 2 weeks ago. He's like, no, we do that a lot. It's just that, like, there's more emotion, and you're seeing the highlights at the end of the game. Well, I don't know about that. Brady said you can't do that all game in the NFL. Shaq Mason, who's their right guard, we asked him a couple of weeks ago, could you do like what the Buffalo Bills did and just go no huddle all game? And he's like, I don't think we could do that all game. But they're going to have Brady doesn't, he does the short passes. You're going to see a lot. Now, Godwin is getting healthy. He's their slot guy. Mike Evans, finally, he didn't have a touchdown for like 10, 11 games. He wasn't even speaking in the locker room during the week. And I was like, what? You could tell he was unhappy. That seems to be going away. Julio Jones, who looked so good in training camp, and you can't make the club in the tub. He's been injured the entire time. He now was full go today. They've got a young tight end, K-9. But again, is Brady going to trust them when it's playoff time? This is where he misses Gronk. It's just a different team. It really is. It's a different team than when they had that success. So to answer your question, Kelly, if they get a lead, then it's different. Brady said you can't get behind and be in it. He calls it a pass-a-thon, and then you're screwed because the defense knows exactly what you're going to do. So if the Cowboys get out to an early lead, I think that they will be in the driver's seat.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing with the Cowboys that I've seen. They've got to get off to good starts. They're a rhythm team. You see it, and they've had two. You know what I'm talking about? Two bad losses. You know, Tampa was a bad loss because I think both teams played bad, and obviously the Washington game has really kind of that's what started this whole mess. And but other than that, if they get in rhythm, I think that's where they could take advantage of Tampa Bay. Because, like you said, if you get Brady hasn't been sacked a lot, and I know Joshua mentioned it. But he's getting rid of the ball, like you said, faster, and that's one of the reasons. And as we get the pressure and get them, that's just like getting a sack. I know a lot of people get all bent out of shape over sack numbers, but it's pressure and what you can do, and then hopefully create some turnovers. We've got a lot of interception. I think we've gotten 16 or something this year, so we're still getting a lot of those turnovers. So that's the key to me for this game is Dallas has to get off to a fast start, get into rhythm, really make Tampa one-dimensional, and then you hopefully you tee off. Now you saw Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons, that first game, that was probably one of his best games of the year. They've put him at DN primarily. That's what he's been on the edge. And last year he was linebacker. Hybrid. I mean, your opinion, or maybe what you're hearing in Tampa. Do you think Dallas needs to? I mean, you probably don't want if you want Tampa to win, but do you think Dallas needs to move him around more and kind of disguise him? Or are you comfortable with, you think they're comfortable with just keeping him on the edge?
I think as soon as he gets out on the field, man, it's over. I mean, he can play in one spot. You can play him in the middle. You can play him over here. He is that good. Tristan Wirfs, who is their starting right tackle, was talking about that today. He thinks that Dallas is going to come with, he called it the twist game. And that's what the offensive line is going to have to handle. He thinks that you guys have a very good defensive coordinator, and they're going to have to try to slow down the pass rush. That's what they're expecting. And he must be getting that from the coaching staff. They've been pouring over the film. So that's what they're expecting to come at them on Monday night.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, being a Cowboys fan, I understand the pressure, and everything is amplified with Dallas. They've got, I feel, correct me if I'm wrong, I think all the pressure is on Dallas. I mean, the media, everything is all over Dallas. So, Brady being the GOAT, they're talking he's 7-0 against Dallas. I don't know what that means. I mean, this, he beat him early in the year, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot. The one interesting stat, just get your opinion, is Dallas is 1-4 on grass. From your experience, do you see any play in that, or is that just kind of one of those stats they just throw out there?
Yeah, that's strange. I saw that today. I'm with you on that, Mike, too. Both of those, like the thing 7-0 or 8-0 against Dallas. Well, you go back to these days in New England. That doesn't matter now. There's been a lot of records that have been broken that you'd be surprised with Brady this year. It's this year. It's right now. They're struggling. They cannot score. They're averaging like 16, 17 points a game. They are terrible in the red zone. They are bad on third down. That's who they are. So I don't go too much about Brady 7-0 against the Cowboys. Those type of stats. The grass on grass, I don't know. I know that it's not supposed to rain. It should be maybe 55 or something like that, 60 degrees. So weather should not be a factor at all in this game. Oh, yeah, that's a strange stat. I saw that, and I'm like, there's stats for everything, man.
Yeah. And Kelly, you want to jump in? I saw you.
Oh, sorry, that was my son there. I had my mic muted.
Oh, no, I was talking about the grass stat and the pressure being on Dallas. Now, get your opinion. The turnovers. Dak Prescott. Orlowski. Whatever. I mean, I know what ESPN does. I know what these guys do. They just want to create ratings. They've got Dak as the 12th ranked quarterback in the playoffs. Now, I understand he's had some turnover issues. He's had some interception issues. What is the Bucks defense? What do you hear from the defense? Are they seeing that obviously as opportunity, or do they see something different in Dak? Are you hearing anything from that side? Because I mean, they had some turnovers against him in week one, and I think the linebacker had made some comments about the Dallas offense and knowing the plays and knowing what they're doing before they do it.
Yeah, that might have been Devin White. Devin White is talented. He's young, and at times he just should not say what he's going to say. And I'm not going to. I can't stick up for him. Sometimes it's like, really? But I will tell you this: Jamel Dean, he's played really, really well, and he was asked. We were in a big media scrum there today, exactly about Dak Prescott, and he looked right at us and goes, "Dak is good. Dak is still good." Interceptions can happen, and sometimes they happen in bunches. But looking at it, they still believe that Dak Prescott is a good quarterback and he's a threat. And he stressed that to us. And that's coming from a defensive guy that has been studying Dak Prescott. And it's the same thing on the other side. Sometimes they come in bunches. The Buccaneers defense has not been good at all in creating turnovers this year. And then you get one game and they might get two or three. Also, from that first game, when they were bringing it, they had Shaquille Barrett. They don't have him right now. And I think that's another big factor on a positive side for the Dallas Cowboys. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka, he's young. He's got a lot of talent, but he really hasn't progressed to anything else. So they're an 8 and 9.
No,
team.
You're,
you know what I'm saying?
You're making me feel good because I got a lot of heat. It might be too confident. I mean, I stand by what I say. Dallas should win the game. Now, Tom Brady's Tom Brady, so I'll always respect him. But this, I mean, Cowboy fans should not be afraid of this. This is probably one of the matchups. If you were looking at it, kind of, everything that went, this is probably the most favorable matchup that the Cowboys can have if they're going on the road. And to your point, I wanted to flash this up, the injury report. Yeah. I mean, it looks pretty long for Tampa. It's pretty short for Dallas. I know all the Dallas guys are playing. I would say majority of these guys, they're full participation, light participation, this and that. Kyle Rudolph.
He hasn't done anything all year. He's older. So that's not a factor at all.
Anything key that from last week or anything that's going to be different for the Buccaneers? I know we talked a little bit about the line, but is there anything that Cowboys fans should kind of watch? All right, this guy, he's probably not going to be playing, or hey, they got this guy back, and this could be a little bit of energy for him.
Yeah, their defensive secondary is actually pretty healthy for this game, and what that does is that allows Bowles to blitz. They've been known as a blitzing team. Not so much this year because he didn't trust his secondary. They were so banged up. So they're kind of healthy right now. Yeah. So you might see Bowles blitzing a lot again and again, like everybody. They want to get pressure. Not the sacks. You're right, Mike. Get pressure on Dak Prescott. That's going to be the thing. Buccaneers, for the last 4 or 5 years, have always been known as a really good stopping the run team. Another fact, hasn't been the case this year again. So, they had won 2 games in a row, and I remember being over at the facility and then listening to Brady. And Brady is pretty honest. He's like, you get what you deserve. We haven't done it all year, and it's like, okay, well, you're going into this next game. Do you want to play or do you want to rest? And Brady's like, look, man, I play. And then Bowles was like, no, we coach football, we play football, we play. So they played him early. And it was supposed to be a confidence builder, okay? Mm-hmm. And when the backups came in, I mean, they got outscored 28-0 and still. And it's like, I remember, it didn't matter. The game didn't matter. No, you kind of don't want to be backing in having played bad.
Yeah.
So that was another situation. Just like every year, every game this year is like, okay, the Bucs lose. Oh, the Saints lost. Oh, Carolina lost. Oh, Atlanta lost. We're still in first place. You're going back to San Francisco. Brady said, we're going back a day early. I'm going to see family and friends. When I was a kid, I would go to the nosebleed. I would watch Joe Montana. He started talking about high school. He was so pumped up. They had a terrible game. It's been like that all year long. So to me, the talk is cheap. You know what I mean? I wanted to see something today. It really, to me, looked like it was business as usual. So I'm not expecting them to turn it on like that. I will say this, though. You can't give Brady 2 minutes at the end of a game. He's still, I'm telling you. And Mike, you know what Mike Evans says? Because when they've done that a couple times this year, he's like, we practiced that. It isn't like it's just all Brady. They practice. Okay, 2 minutes to go. No timeouts, one timeout. And they do that a lot. So they're very, very good. If it comes down to the stretch, and you got minute 50 to give to Brady, that would be the one thing that I would be a little concerned about. But other than that, really, the Cowboys should be able to win this game.
Yeah. No, well, again, you're making me feel good. I don't know about you, Kelly. I'm feeling pretty good talking to Rock Riley. He's pumping me up even more than we need to get him on all these Cowboys shows to get some of these guys coming off the break.
No, I got to call it like it is. You got to tell it like it is, man.
It's funny though, because it sounds like a lot of things you've said is kind of almost mirror to the Cowboys as far as like how the Bucs need to get started out to a fast start. I feel the exact same way about the Cowboys. And then, kind of how at the end, that last game, they had a stinker. Well, the Cowboys had one too. So, they both kind of done some similar things, but, to kind of go off of what you had said about, throughout the year, other than outside of the Cowboys, which obviously when you look at Tampa's schedule, that was their best win as far as, winning teams, because, just looking through the schedule, it looks like every other team that they played that was a playoff team, they got handled, fairly easily, which, kind of gives me some hope. But then again, as you said, if it comes down to one of those one possession games, couple minutes left on the clock, I guarantee you there's gonna be a lot of hand wringing amongst Cowboys Nation in that game. So that's what we want to kind of keep ourselves out of that type of situation and pull away early and keep that lead.
Yeah.
I'll ask you guys one question. If for some reason the Cowboys do not win this game, I know Jerry Jones was on radio yesterday, said McCarthy's job is not in jeopardy. If they look bad in this game, do you think Jerry Jones could change his mind? Or is he just saying that because he's got to keep McCarthy pumped up? What do you think?
Rock, I mean, you're about reading my mind. Now, the beauty of you're talking to Mike Tagg and you got Kelly K-9. I'm going to bring Jerry to you right now. We're asking Jerry right now. He's going to answer to you. So, Jerry Jones, I want to hear you tell Rock Riley what would possibly happen if Dallas were to lose.
Well, now, when you get into talking about the future of this Dallas Cowboys organization, you don't want to look a gift horse in the mouth. And what I mean by that here is that we got everything in front of us and everything behind us. So if the Cowboys were to lose this game, which I do not see happening, we just have to evaluate things and take some time and maybe make a couple calls to Sean Payton and see what he might be doing. But I won't commit to one thing or another. We like Mike. We're confident in Mike. And we think he's going to bring a Super Bowl to Dallas this year.
Well, there you go.
That is phenomenal. That is phenomenal. Have you been on Dallas stations doing that?
No. He needs to be.
Oh, my God, man. Especially on radio, you should call in. You got to prank somebody. You got to do it.
Rock, what I wanted to try and do, and I couldn't. I'm not technical. If you're technical, you come join me.
No, you're good. Look at what you're doing. You got it.
I wanted to somehow get Kelly to where he was disappeared, and I'd say on the radio, and I'd have to kind of shut him off, and I got to figure something out. But he does a phenomenal. He's so good. Jimmy Johnson, he did a video. Jimmy Johnson retweeted it and commented on it and said, "Man, that is Jerry Jones all day."
That is tremendous, man.
I appreciate it.
Oh my God, Kelly.
I appreciate it. Thanks.
So we'll leave you with it. It's a good time. I mean, I really appreciate you coming
Yeah.
on. And like I was
Yeah.
telling Kelly the backstory. He didn't know the backstory of you and I, and in the years we got a good laugh out of it. I still have the audios. I'm gonna put them on this show one day. We're gonna get it going. But your
Yeah.
thoughts on the game? How do you see it playing out Monday night? And I wanted to ask you one thing before that.
Yeah.
What do you think about the NFL? You know, they talk about safety, they talk about competitive balance. They screwed Dallas and Tampa by putting this game on Monday night. They're going to have a short week coming in. To your point, you know, Dallas, they're not going to get home till 3, 4 in the morning after this game Monday night. Then they got Tuesday. They could play, you know, playing on Sunday. Tampa Bay, the same thing. What's your thoughts on that? And then, of course, your prediction of the game.
Cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. Dallas Cowboys with the biggest fan base. I know Buffalo. There's a lot of teams that have great, passionate fan bases, but let's call it like it's like the Yankees. So you got the Dallas Cowboys and you have Brady. And that's the bottom. And that's going to bring you the most ratings. Ratings equals revenue. And I know, Mike, it comes down to cha-ching, 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 cha-ching. This is the best matchup. It's going to be the highest rated, just like what Kelly, you guys said. So that's it. It's Brady and it's Jerry and it's the Cowboys. That's it.
Yep.
As far, you know, I really don't, I'm at a loss for words, man, because this is the matchup actually that I think the Buccaneers wanted. I think that they thought, you know what, we did beat them in week 1, although they were getting asked that a lot today, but it's Joe Madden was a manager that won the World Series with the Chicago Cubs, and he was with the Angels, didn't work out. He was with the Rays, and I visited him in Pennsylvania this summer and sat down with him, and he was like, look, I'm old school, but I'm not against analytics. But when you give me analytics from the last couple of weeks, what a team is doing. Don't give me a guy what he was doing in April, his batting average, or a pitcher. What have you done for me lately? So the way I see it, Dallas has kind of not been on the top of their game coming into this, and the Buccaneers certainly have not. Now, when they went to Munich and they played Seattle, they played a complete game. And Evans and Godwin. Now you do have Julio. He's got some of his weapons back. I just think it's going to come down. I think it's going to come down to a tight game. And I would be shocked if the Buccaneers pulled this off because they haven't all season long. They are a below 500 football team. And even Brady, even after the win, not this one, but the win before that. All right, are you seeing anything? And even Brady didn't give it. No, he's like, well, we have to do it consistently, and we haven't done it. They haven't done it. So, you know, I honestly, I don't want to be offended. It can go either way, but I am not confident at all in the Buccaneers just flipping the switch and being able to beat a team that won 12 games in the regular season. I don't see it.
No, I mean, I agree. I think it's going to be a close game by the score, but I think Buccaneers are going to get a late touchdown to make it a little interesting, maybe like a 31-24 or something like that. I think Dallas will, control the game. But again, it's pressure. And, Dak always says pressure is privilege. I hear it every week or every other week when he says it. If they don't get off to a good start, and Tampa does, and Dallas starts playing from behind, I think the pressure is going to just absolutely swallow them up, and I think that's where Dallas could be in trouble. So it's so critical that Dallas gets off to a good start because again, Tom Brady. I mean, he's the GOAT, for a reason. He's not, he doesn't have the team around him like he did before, but you got to give him that respect. But I agree. I think Dallas should win the game.
And you'll be celebrating, I would assume.
I would. I'm going to the game. I'm a little disappointed. I don't know what they did on Monday. The ticket prices has dropped. I paid more because I got them early because a friend of mine had season tickets, and I bought them when they went on sale. And now I'm looking at my seats are a little lower, and I think it's because of the Monday night. People are having a little bit more issue going to the game on Monday night.
No, you know what I've heard. This is the sense that I'm getting here. that a lot of Buccaneer fans are selling their tickets. I think there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans in the stands. It's kind of shocking, but maybe not, because the Bucs have been so disappointing.
Yeah.
My mailman, I was out yesterday and he's like, I'm selling my tickets, and my son's done the same thing. I'm just hoping some rich Cowboy fans scoop them up. I said, really? He said, really? Swear to God.
Well, I'll tell you this. One of my friends I've made through social media and going to the Cowboy games. I won't say his name, but I asked him if he's going to the game, because like, man, I'm going. I'm gonna try and tailgate, get a group of Cowboy fans together, have a good time. And he's like, man, the Monday night game, I got to get back Monday night. He goes, do you know anyone I can hire to fly a plane back home? I'm like, I mean, you got to be a big damn fan. I mean, I mean, I'm not doing that to go to this playoff game, but I mean, some of these Cowboy fans, I guess, there's some passion in there. They spare no expense, man. Maybe we hadn't been to the playoffs so many times. You got to take them when you can get them. You don't want to miss it. But I couldn't believe that.
Yeah.
So
I talked to a guy earlier this week that actually is coming over from London and coming to the game. So yeah, there's some Cowboys fans. They're definitely traveling. So they're gonna come out in full force. That'd be something nice to see, though. Is a lot of Cowboys fans in Tampa Bay. Maybe make it feel a little bit more like a home game. Give us a little bit.
It's going to be like that. It is. Yeah. It's going to be like that. Now it's going to be wild, though.
Yeah. Any advantage that we can get. So Kelly, before we let Rock go, what's your thoughts on the game? You feeling Cowboys?
Well, like I said last night when we were on that show, after the Washington game, I had completely imploded, and I took a trip to negative town, as they say. And but I've turned around from that. I don't think it's going to be a close game. I feel like there's something that's telling me that, because of, they had last year and they blew Philly out. And then, everybody was feeling confident about going into San Fran. San Fran went in and just kind of bullied us around. They took the lead early. They never relinquished it. It ended up being a fairly close game in the end, but that didn't really tell the story of the game, because San Francisco pretty much dominated that. But I think that Dallas is going to take control of this game. And I do think they're going to get off to a fast start. And I feel like with the additions of LVE coming back, Jonathan Hankins in that in that run game to help kind of shore that up, I think the Cowboys defense is going to get rolling, and I think we see a defense more similar to what we've seen in the early portion of the season, where they're shutting teams down, I think they allowed like 17 points a game. So I'm seeing a Cowboys win, but I'm seeing a bigger margin of win. I'm thinking double-digit win here for the Cowboys. So, and hoping I'm right. Prediction sticks for my sake, anyway.
I will pray you're right. Now you see, Rock, I got my throwback Emmitt Smith, undefeated at the stadium with this. Your boy's wearing that. I'm pulling out all the stops. There's
great.
nothing more humiliating and disappointing, especially me, because I dropped those videos. So I asked for the hate. But walking out of that stadium after the loss is going to be very difficult. So I can't even let it cross my mind. So, I got the jersey. I'm bringing the good luck cup with my lid, the $30 special at AT&T. I didn't know it was that much until I went up to get it. I was like, oh, give me the lid. It was $36. I said, what? And then I was too embarrassed. I had to pay for it. I didn't want to say put it back. Hey, man, I appreciate you jumping on the show. I mean, you've always been accommodating. And like I said, huge fan of yours. Let everyone know where they could find you. Make sure they follow you, because like I said, Cowboy fan or not, you just got so much knowledge in sports, of all sports. And I've always been such a huge fan. So share your info with everybody.
Thanks, man. Yeah, social media at Real Rock Riley, RealRockRiley. So Instagram, Twitter, Rock Riley on Facebook. Easiest way to follow me. And I'll be doing some videos pregame, because it could, Monday night, man, they bring it. There's a lot more cameras, the festivities, the thing. And it's also a playoff game, and it's a night game. And there's going to be a lot of Cowboy fans there. It's going to be unbelievable, man. It really will. It will.
It's a Super Bowl atmosphere. I'm looking at all the stuff that they're doing with ESPN at the stadium. I'm going to see Stephen A. Smith and Michael Irvin. I want to look that man in the eye and say, and have him talk that smack to me, to my face. But
are you going to convention center? Are you going to the convention center?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. I've interviewed Michael Irvin a couple of times. He is cool as hell.
Oh, I love Michael.
He is awesome.
Yeah.
And then Stephen A. Smith, he's going to be doing his thing. But anyway, yeah, there's another thing that shows you for a wild card game, a team that's 8-9, they're bringing their shows to Tampa for this. It's because of the interest. It's the biggest interest for this weekend, man.
Yeah.
Good. And see, we got some Cowboy fans. My man Joshua, he lives in Florida. He's been listening to you for a while. He lives in Venice,
Thanks,
so you got love from all across the state. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much for jumping on. Hopefully we don't run into you. If not, you look for that hype video. Look for if we win, there's going to be a post game in front of the stadium. I need you to make sure no one slaps me from the back, beats me down, and gets it on some sort of fight video on YouTube or something.
Oh, it'll go viral. It'll go viral.
All right, you take care, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
All right,
it was nice meeting you.
All right, bye.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
You got it, Jimmy. You got it, Jerry.
Take care. Good times, man. Good times.
Yeah.
So that was from the Tampa side, right, Kelly? That's the Tampa. That's coming from a man who's in the locker room. He's talking to the team, and that's what I'm trying to say is it's going to be a bad. I don't even want to think about losing. It's going to be a bad day. No reason for this team to lose. They should go in and handle that business, but. One of the things that we didn't get a chance to touch on was the cornerback situation. I want to get your thoughts on that. So that is the glaring. If you're seeing something in your hole in the defense, we're getting some cavalry back, right? I think LV is going to be huge. Hankins going to be huge. What are we going to do with that cornerback spot?
Well, hopefully, they just signed Xavier Rhodes. We kind of talked about that a little bit. We got to hope that he comes in and that he just plays better than what we've had, which is not asking a whole bunch, honestly. Because I mean, we're good on Diggs. Diggs' side is good. Bland is played really well in the slot. For whatever reason, they don't really want to move him to the the outside corner. I think that's probably where Rhodes is gonna be seen at in Tampa. But what I will say about what he was talking about is that Brady's weapons are getting healthy. So, that does give me a little pause for concern there because, he may not have been healthy for the big portion of the season, but, Julio Jones was a big contributor in that win that they had. I mean, he was doing some things, motioning out of the backfield. They gave him the ball. I think he ran the ball a couple times. He had a couple big catches against the Cowboys in that first week. So, Godwin, Evans, and, a healthy Julio Jones, if he can manage to stay healthy through the whole game, that does give the Cowboys DBs some issues, but it would just need Rhodes to step in and be, serviceable. But
and just to help my man Josh, I know Bland. We know he's fine in the slot. We've got an issue. You want right out there? You want that other guy out there that's giving up 50-yard passes?
Mullins.
We got to concern it. You got to have three cornerbacks, right? We got to have three cornerbacks. Xavier Rhodes, he's a veteran guy. And, the only thing that I can hope and pray, and it's, I was telling you, my son and I were talking about it at dinner. He took Pops out because I told you my wife did leave. She had enough of this. She's going out to Vegas with her family. So I thought I was going to have leftovers, and my son said, "Hey, Pops, man, let's go out. And I got a gift card to Longhorn. I'm going to take you to dinner." So we talked about the game at dinner, and that's one of the things we're trying to figure out. Xavier Rhodes, he's you get him late, but he's a veteran, and so we can't give up those 50-yard plays. We can't keep him. If you keep it in front of you, I think we're going to be all right. They were talking. I saw a comment about, is Diggs going to shadow? That's not been one of their fortes of doing that. Maybe it would be good, but I'm thinking you just leave. They're going to have to provide help on the other side, and whoever's lined up on Diggs is, Diggs is going to have to lock it down. And he's been pretty successful against Evans. He's had a good, couple games with him that they've played. So, I'm not concerned, obviously, and they're not either about him. I don't know if you want to get him out of his game. I don't know if you want to start shuffling stuff around and then making it hurt. I think, Bland's been good and, Diggs is there. If Rhodes can kind of hold the fort down and some people miss Anthony Brown now, don't we?
Oh God. Yeah, that's true. I mean, what we wouldn't give to have him back for this game. But yeah, I mean, outside of that Philly game when, when Diggs was traveling with with AJ Brown, that's
Yeah.
about the only game that I can really think where he shadowed the number one wide receiver pretty much everywhere he went. So he's capable of doing it. But if I don't think you need to do that with this Tampa Bay squad. I don't think that they have don't get me wrong. Mike Evans is a talented and can be a dangerous wide receiver, but I don't necessarily think Diggs is going to have to shadow him. So, yeah, I'm anxious to see what Rhodes will bring to this secondary, because that's definitely in my position on the defensive side of the ball, the weak link, for better lack of words.
And it's really even moving forward when they get past this game. But to Winston's point, pass rush is crucial. That's the game. I mean, that's the game for us. And it doesn't have to be sacks. It doesn't. We gotta sack him 5 or 6 times, like we talked about. Brady gets rid of that ball quick. He does not take a lot of sacks. I think it's 22 all year. So they just got to get out and make him throw that ball away, and then hopefully some turnovers happen, mistakes happen. Just like what Rock was talking about, their very short pass game. His pass yards per attempt is one of the lowest ones. So that's what they've got to do, is they've got to get pressure. And we've talked about it a couple times, on other shows. The stars got to step up.
Yeah.
Parsons, Tank, Diggs, LVE, I'd throw him into that mix. Those are your big guys. They have got to step up and play big. And then when you're going on offense, it's got to be Dak. It's got to be CD. It's got to be, Zeke and Pollard. They have got to step up. We can't have Noah Brown leading the team in receptions. We're going to lose the game. And that's really what it comes down to. And I just, again, I don't want to be overconfident, but I just can't say. I just don't see a path for Tampa to win unless Tampa's got to play their best game, and we've got to play our worst. And we haven't played 2 bad games in a row, right?
Yeah. Yeah, after every loss, the Cowboys have responded. I expect them to do this, and like you said, you want the stars to step up and play. I mean, the regular season is you play for this moment. You play to have a chance in the tournament here, and that's where we're at. So now these guys gotta step up and shine, man. This is what they refer to as legacy games. This is where your legacy it can be made right here, is in the playoffs. This is what they remember people for. They're not going to remember Micah Parsons having 2 sacks in a week 1 game versus Tampa. They're going to remember if he has 2 sacks and a strip fumble in a round 1 playoff game versus Tampa Bay, and then carry that on to a round 2 and light up whoever else is next, or DeMarcus Lawrence or Dak Prescott going off for 400 yards and 3 or 4 touchdowns. I mean, this is where they cement their legacy, is in the playoffs, man. That's where you got to play big. So these guys got to show up, every single one of them.
And that's and I'm glad you said that. We're going to get into some other stuff. We're going to have some fun here, but that's what gets me. And I, like I told you before, I'm called, someone called me a boomer. Someone called me an old man. Someone called me this. And don't compare Dak Prescott to Troy Aikman or Roger Staubach. I know people do it for clicks. I know you do it to get a reaction. But to Kelly's point, 100% right with these quarterbacks. Their legacies are in the playoffs. And Dak does not have a legacy yet. Troy Aikman, his legacy is in the playoffs, is cemented. 3 Super Bowl championships. At one point, he was 11-1 or whatever, 9-0, whatever it was in the playoffs. He had unbelievable playoff record. Roger Staubach, I mean, you're talking 5 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl championships. I mean, that is legacy. And this is the opportunity for Dak. I love Dak. I believe Dak's can get it done. I believe he can take this team, but to that level. But I don't want to hear every week I gotta fix the turnover. I can't throw an interception. I can't do this. I can't do that. It's like, don't sing it, bring it. Enough talk. And that's what I said with this team. The talk is over. It's time for this team to put up, because this is a win now team. We're more talented. You can't tell me a team in the NFC that is more talented than the Cowboys. We're as talented as every team in the playoffs, if not more, on the NFC side.
Absolutely. And then I see Cool Dale guy here. says DBs today can't even put a finger on the wide receivers. Totally different area. That's a great point. When Troy Aikman was in this game, not only could the DBs maul these wide receivers, coming out of their routes, but also the quarterback protection wasn't what it was.
Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine some of
Kill
these,
the quarterback.
I mean, some of these guys now, they get the slightest of taps and they're they're on the ground like, where's the flag? You know what I mean? I mean, guys like Aikman and guys of that era, we're getting clobbered and just absolutely cremated by defensive linemen, linebackers, safeties coming through on a blitz. So yeah, it's a totally different era. These quarterbacks, they have inflated stats. Not to say that they're not talented, but to your point, this is where you make your legacy, is in the playoffs. It's one of the reasons why, as much as I love Tony Romo as a quarterback, he'll be questioned for his lack of his ability to win in big playoff games. Say what you want about the rosters behind him. If he didn't have a great defense, this and that, that's what they're going to look to. So, I mean, that's just kind of how it is. And that's how it goes. So, hey, Mom, I see my mom tuned in. Say hi, Mom.
Oh, is that a great show?
Lisa Christensen there. Yeah.
Thank you,
my
Lisa.
Mama. Tune in.
Appreciate the love. You always love when Mom comes out and enjoys the show. So,
yeah, exactly.
But yeah, and that's, in this game, and let's talk about, I don't want to look ahead. I want to look ahead, but I'm not going to look ahead. We talked about the Buccaneers. We've talked about with Tom Brady. We've talked about their lack of running game. We've talked about, the offensive line has been in shambles. The defense, with Barrett's out. I'll be honest, I don't really watch a lot of Tampa, so I didn't know he was out. So I learned something. I learned something today. But the Cowboys, all signs are pointing them to win. But then I want to get into the media side of it. And I think you and I both know the end game. Most Cowboy fans know the end game. It's unfortunate we all get sucked into the vortex, and I'm going to get sucked in right now because I want to talk about Dan Orlovsky and his quarterback ranking of the top 14 quarterbacks in the playoffs. And he's got our man Dak at number 12, behind Daniel Jones, one ahead of Purdy. And the only guys he's ahead of is Purdy and the Dolphins' third string quarterback. I mean, I know what they're doing, but I mean, how does this guy have a job? He can't even quarterback. He runs out of the end zone. He gets some cheap, glasses to try and make him look smart. He's an idiot. And I just don't understand how that man has a paycheck making all this money, and you and I are sitting here doing a podcast.
I feel like these guys, man, when they hire these guys, the only qualifications from ESPN to put these guys on the radio is can you come up with creative ways to talk smack about the Dallas Cowboys, and how riled up can you get the Dallas Cowboys fans? Because that's what they love to do. Stephen A. Smith, man, you might as well throw a Cowboys jersey on that dude, man. He's a Cowboys fan. He loves it. He says that he despises the fans. He doesn't despise us. His show literally that's what they start out with. Monday morning, it's all Cowboys. It's all Cowboys. And I saw the list, and look, Dak has to step up. He's got to play better, but come on, man. Better than Daniel Jones. Dak's never even lost to Daniel Jones. Like they went head to head several times. It has never happened. I mean, don't give me that, man. There's no way that he's better than Daniel Jones. And I'm just not buying that. I think, but to that point, this is the time where Dak can go out and shut a lot of these guys up, because you've got, that LaShawn McCoy, he's out there. You got Dan Orlovsky, you got Stephen S. The list goes on and on. These clowns that just love to talk smack about the Cowboys. And
and Stephen A. Smith, and I'm going to be there. I'm going to First Take. I said I'm going to
be looking for you. I'll be watching. All
right. I'm going to be wearing this. My son will be there with me. The thing I'll give Stephen A. Smith, he makes it very known. Yeah, it's a shtick. It's a way to, get some excitement. And I respect that. When he comes to Cowboys fan, it's just like I talk about Eagle fans. I've been to several Eagle Cowboy games. Nothing but the nicest people when they're at AT&T. Cordial conversations, have fun, have laughs, this and that. but they want to create the persona, right? They're badasses and this and that, but it's the furthest thing from the truth. Stephen A. Smith, he does it all, but he rides in the helicopter with Jerry. He does
Right.
the smoking the cigar if they lose. It's all there. Orlovsky, the problem I have with him is he's trying to be serious. And he's
Yeah.
trying to, and LaShawn McCoy, they're trying to be serious. And that other
Right.
idiot, Ocho or whatever, I forgot who the Cowboy guy is. Great. I mean, he's a good guy. I feel bad.
Acho.
Hmm?
Is it the Acho? Oh, no. Hellman that goes
Hellman.
on that show.
How
Yes.
he
Oh,
how
God.
he can just
I-
stay calm in that show. I mean, I would be ripping those guys up left and right with some of the stupid comments, especially that washed up has been LaShawn McCoy running his chops. I mean, he ain't done nothing. So I'm just messing around, but
You know
I
what?
can't.
It riles me up, and I get people telling me all the time. They're like, "Don't watch the show." Well, I don't watch the show. I see these clips come across Twitter that are have been cut and clipped, and they got these little these clips out there, and I'll be like, "What?" And the clip curiosity gets me every time, and I should
Oh,
know
yeah.
better. That
Yes.
it's always some stuff that makes you want to bang your head on the wall with the stupidity of it, and you're going, how do you get I mean, that one where he came on, he's like, Dak is ass. He's
Yeah.
ass.
Yeah.
I'm like, he's on a team that won 12 games. So you're gonna tell me that with an ass quarterback, you're gonna win 12 games. And not only that, because people can point to the fact that the defense has done really good. We've relied on the running game, whatever. But Dak has never had a losing season. So you don't have an ass quarterback. You don't even have an ass quarterback if that's the case. Never had a losing season in his entire career. So say what you want. This could be a rough season for Dak. He struggled a little bit. The interceptions are up there. I get that. But
Yeah.
Dak is still a talented quarterback. You can see him place the ball right where he wants to. I mean, he has made some big throws in some big games. And this is his moment. This playoffs right here, man, I would love to see him just run through all these teams, man, and just shut everybody the hell up. Because if Dak gets the NFC Championship game, if he gets a Super Bowl, if he wins the Super Bowl, these clowns ain't gonna have nothing to say. Nothing.
Yeah. And is this the MC? Because there's another MC. I want to make sure. Is that the right?
I think that is. Yeah,
All
I
right.
think
Wow.
that's
I
DMC. The
I
girl
know my
Meg.
girl. I know my girl with Dak. So I put out the invite to her next Thursday after we win. I want her on here with us
Yeah,
a
come
little
up.
bit, and
Yeah.
we have this conversation because I know she's got a lot to say about it too. I'm sure. So
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to get hurt. You don't want to start talking shit around about Dak when Megs is around.
no. So we definitely got to make that happen. And like I said, I'm looking forward to I can't drop a hype video. I've got it all in my mind. I'm doing all this stuff, and I'm going to drop it on Saturday night. Can't do it Friday because the game's on Monday, so it's messing with my stuff. But I'm just like I'm so charged up for this game. Like I said, I live in Tampa. I'm hearing all the noise. But to be honest, a lot of them are like what Rock's saying. But I still get the memes, and they get this, and they get the Brady, and we're not doing all this and that. But like I said, I just find it impossible to imagine us losing, and it's probably mostly because I just don't want to. I don't want to let that thought cross my mind. I talked about it yesterday. I had a dream not last night, the night before that Dallas lost in the playoffs, and I was walking out, and it was disappointing. But that was, it's just a dream.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm charged up. I'm getting ready. Like I haven't got to. I don't know about you, but I start getting a little bit of the nervous vibes probably about 48 hours before the game. Just kind of that nervous anxiety. It's starting to build up. And what's funny is that if it's when they win, that's when that kind of like explosion of euphoria comes out. And I just, I hit record on that phone, and who knows what the hell is going to come out of my mouth if they win on Monday night. I have no idea what I'm going to say. No idea. I never know. It just starts rolling out, and then I hit stop.
We got to chop something up. You see, and that's the thing. If you watch the intro, I've done that intro, all season. I've kind of chopped up some of the videos, and it's so funny that I was watching it. I don't know. It just stuck to me today when I was watching it before, the Rock got on and you got on. I was listening to it. And it's don't go burying us just quite yet. That was the one, and I feel that now, right? Everyone's trying to bury us, and it's the haters, come down, you fuel the fire. And I think that's what's going to happen, on Monday. And I forgot the middle one. I forgot what it was, but it did mean something in the game. See,
Yeah.
I'm getting old. Maybe I am a boomer. I don't know. Maybe the memory ain't going good. But I talked about this game, and we don't look ahead. But a Cowboys win, the the pressure that is on this team right now, and just from the outside noise. And I know everyone can say that, the players can say we don't listen to it, but we see Twitter. We see what Micah Parsons said about some stupid. This isn't. Let's remind everyone. This isn't the true all pro team. This is
Yeah.
some new. This is like back in the day when they had 50 million NCAA college football champions because Playboy had one, this one had one, that one. This is some player vote thing or whatever they did, player association, all
Yeah.
pro team. But he was quick to tweet it out. It bothered him, and if he wants to use that as fuel and motivation, have at it. But I don't know. I'm losing my train of thought because I'm getting so aggravated.
Well, I want to, you know what? Hey, whatever anybody can say, whether it's in the media or not, it's funny because you hear a lot of times where you hear these players and they say that they block it out and they don't hear the outside noise. But I kind of like it when they hear a little bit of the outside noise, because if you've got some pride in you and you've got some heart, that shit's gonna piss you off. I mean, I'm a fan. I'm only a fan. I don't go out there. I don't play this game. I'm a fan, and it pisses me off. So I can only imagine these players when they're hearing this stuff. Dak hearing that he's the 12th quarterback out of the 14 teams that are in here. Micah Parsons. Any of the noise that he may be hearing, or just anything. And not that they need extra motivation, but when you do hear those things, let it piss you off. If you need a little bit of extra fuel, I don't care where you get that fuel, just get it.
Yeah.
Get it.
No,
get
absolutely.
It in the tank and be ready to go.
That's what I said. They hear it. That's what I was saying. So they could say that they don't hear. That was what I was point I was getting long-winded. All the stuff, this media, the pressure and the loser and this Dallas team and that, they all hear it. So when they go in there, they beat Tampa. I think all that is just. I mean, I said it before. This team can just go on a huge run, and I think that's they need something, because as well as I do, they go beat Tampa. Oh, you beat a team without a winning record. There's old Tom Brady. They were injured. They this or that or that. Now all of a sudden this game, this win don't mean anything. Before they said this is a defining moment. This is that. Tom Brady's 7-0 against us. We're 1-4 on grass, and all the other crap that goes with it. So it's this is just the opportune time, and this is about it's like I said, if they go out and they lay an egg, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I can't defend it. I can't defend Dak. I can't defend this team. We're just gonna have to just take the beatings that we're gonna get in social media and just go into hiding for a little while.
Yeah. Just kind of maybe disconnect from things for a little bit and take a break. But hopefully that doesn't happen, because it shouldn't happen. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I mean, it's one of those things where, like I said the other day when I think me and you were talking there, and I was, it's kind of a no-win situation as far as the fans go. But that, the fan talk, the hater talk, the analysts, and that shit means nothing to these players, man. We win this week, and then worry about next week, because they're gonna say, Tampa wasn't a great team, but right now it's all about, Tom Brady's the GOAT. He's 7-0. Ain't no way you're going to beat Tampa Bay, but we beat them. Well, then next week it's going to be, well, you definitely ain't going to beat, so-and-so, the Eagles, or you're done if you have to play the Niners or whatever it may be. But none of that means anything. And honestly, at the end of the day, I don't really care. I don't care what they say. They can say whatever they want about my team. It ain't going to change me. It's not going to change you. At the end of the day, we're still rooting for the Cowboys. And if we win, hey, we're gonna be some of the hypest people that in Cowboys Nation. And if they lose, we're gonna take it on the chops, and we're gonna be back next year. We're gonna be
we're gonna be talking shit next year. Hey, just real quick, two things for everyone who's on the line. First, we love it. We appreciate it. We've been doing this thing on Thursdays, Kelly and I. And I really enjoy it. So hopefully we'll just continue that trend. But make sure you guys hit that like button. If you're watching this now, hit that like button. That helps us out. It kind of gets it in that rhythm, lets other Cowboy fans know we're alive and we're doing this thing and we're making things happen. The other thing is, we gave you our prediction. drop the comment. Let's put these up and be real. If you think the Cowboys are going to lay an egg, you think that, hey, we're one and done like everyone. I mean, be real about it and just put it on there. But drop the predictions in the comment section because we'd love to post these up and just kind of see where Cowboys Nation is feeling. Are you guys, you feeling as good as Kelly and I? Because you saw Kelly was upset. Kelly was upset. I told you I couldn't even show my kids. It was just a little too much for them to bear, But they probably watched it on their own. I'm no idiot. But I think I've been able to kind of help, mend it, get you feeling right, get you moving past that, and refocused on the task at hand, which is beating Tampa Bay. But I want to get your guys' opinion on it. So we'll post these up. And Kelly, if you see anything that sticks out, we'll definitely comment on it. So we got 31.
Seeing some Dallas wins, all Dallas wins. I'm
Yeah,
liking it.
and most of it is, Dallas hitting that 28, 27, 32, 35 kind of number. Game winning drive.
I'd like
Game
that.
winning drive. I mean, that
I like that.
I don't want to see that only because I'm going to be there. To be it might be too much for me to bear live and in person. But that might be one of those signature, stepping stones. You get Dak Prescott to get it going. That'd be pretty good. That'd be pretty good.
Yeah. If he's gonna have a game-winning drive, I wouldn't mind a game-winning drive, but I'd prefer his game-winning drive to come in the Super Bowl. Let's let that happen in the Super Bowl that way. Because this game right here, I just kind of want to just win this game. I want to beat Tampa down. Just beat them down, man. I don't really want the anxiety of it. Get this one off our chest. Get the monkey off our back, and let's get this thing rolling.
Yeah. Well, I do. It's all Cowboys. So 30 Dallas wins. Dallas wins. So it looks like, maybe I don't attract the negativity. I thought I'd get some negative stuff here. Maybe some Eagle fans jumping in here. Maybe some Buccaneer fans. I tried to show them some love to get it out here. Let's see. I'm going to be at the game, repping my boys. We'd love to see there. Well, hey, I tell people, and Kelly's the same way. You just hit me up. I'm thinking about. Obviously, I'm going there with my son, and I've got a couple friends who are Cowboy fans. We're going to go. We're parking in lot HCC, which is Hillsborough College. It's across the street from the stadium. We probably, we're going to set up some stuff and hang out there a little bit. But all you got to do is message me on Twitter. Say, hey, man, where the hell you at? I'm in section 343. Not as good as my seats in Dallas, but I'm there, so I can't complain. But, just hit me up. Just hit me up, and I'd love meeting Cowboy fans. Just don't be a hater in disguise and try and ambush me or something. I got reinforcements that are going to be with me, and you'll see what I'm talking about. We handle that business. I make sure when I go into road stadiums, I'm not going in solo. I'm going in with an army.
You kind of make sure you got somebody watching your six.
Yeah, absolutely. No one throwing crap on my beautiful jersey because that was a story. The Jacksonville game. I don't know if I said on your show or if I said I was afraid to wear this jersey because it's white. I always get nervous about wearing white jerseys, outdoor stadiums, and I get crap all over it. This is this is a jersey, and so I didn't wear it, and we lost. So I've been with that guilt, ever since, especially up 27-10. They wanted to rip my heart out because I didn't wear the jersey. It was payback. I am superstitious. So this jersey will be on Monday night. So guys might as well take it to the bank and go ahead and lay down the bets because we're going to win that game.
Exactly. Keep that game winning jersey going. Let's keep that all the way through the Super Bowl. I mean, what better jersey to wear though than Emmitt Smith.
I know. And it's I've been working on the cave. So I've been redoing every now and then, like before like playoffs I get like a little antsy. So I start moving things around. I got stuff in the closet and I start pulling things out. And I made my Emmitt Smith. I made a Super Bowl. I made the 70s section. And then I did the 90s with the Super Bowls with Aikman and Emmett and all my stuff there. And then I've got the current. So you got Zeke and CD. I've got all that kind of stuff there. And then obviously with Romo and I think Witten, and then I've got some other stuff on the bottom. But I mean, you got to redo the cave every now and then. You got to change things up, get that mojo, get the feeling right. So I might have to do a new video once I get it all once I get it going.
There you go. I see 38-21. That Lucas, I'm pretty sure that's my nephew tuning in there. I like that 38-21 score right there.
Yes.
a good one. I think
I'll
last
take
night.
that.
I think last night I had called something similar to that. I said 41-20 was my final score. I just got that feeling in my gut, man, that something unleashes in these Cowboys, and it's one of those ones where they click on all phases. We'll see.
No.
We'll see.
I feel it, man. I feel it. So looking at the other game, just let's look at the NFC because that we see how things shake
Sure.
out. So what's your feeling on the other game? You got Minnesota and you got the Giants, you got Seattle again and San Francisco. The one thing that was brought up, and again, correct me if I'm wrong in the chat or Kelly if I'm wrong. This is, I think they said like the first time where all of these games are rematches.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, I think no, I did. In my opinion, I think the one that has the best chance as far as NFC to be in an upset is the Giants over the Vikings. And the reason being is because I don't buy Kirk Cousins. I just don't buy him. I think the Vikings have the more talented squad, but I think that they've just shown that, they've gotten smacked around a few times.
Yeah.
By some good teams. And I'm not really sold on them. So I think that's going to be an upset right there. I think that the Niners, I think that they should handle Seattle pretty well. I think they will. I don't think that Seattle's got enough firepower on either side of the ball to take care of them. So I think that's a game that the Niners will win pretty easily. So
yeah, and if you go by that logic, and let's just have fun with it, and we win, that would put us at San Francisco and the Giants at Philly.
With the Eagles,
I think you were the one who said you'd love nothing more than a Philly Dallas NFC Championship game. So that would fall in line with what you're hoping for, and I wouldn't mind that either. And I think that when you're looking at some of these matchups, there's always upsets in the playoffs, especially in the wild card round. So, the Giants one, that one's out there. And I think the line is not, I think it was 3.
Yeah.
I think it was Giants +3, which is pretty surprising, if you look at both teams. But I think Minnesota, I think their point differential, are they in the negative?
I think so. I know that for a long time they were the worst of any team with a winning record for sure. And then, I think almost of any team, but they got into the positives. I think they fell back down into the negatives again because they took another slacking. I can't remember who it was that knocked them up. Green Bay. Yeah, knocked them upside their heads. So I think they are there. I think they're in the negative. So I mean, that's the game that I could see. I could see the Giants winning that game. But I'd also, and this has nothing to do with what I think is going to happen, but I'd also love that chance to be able to get a second crack at San Francisco. I know a lot of people amongst Cowboys Nation are, nervous about San Francisco, and rightfully so. Like we had talked about pre-show. They're one of the best coach teams in my opinion. I think they got the best coach in the NFL. I've said that many, many times. But I think that if this Dallas pass rush can get it going and get rolling against a rookie quarterback, I think they could capitalize on some mistakes, and I think that they can. I think that they could pull that one off, even on the road in San Francisco. So I'd like our chances against San Francisco with with that rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. I think that Seattle-San Francisco game, I think San Francisco wins, obviously, but Pete Carroll, I mean, he's a very underrated coach.
That's true.
Good defensive-minded coach. You got a third-string quarterback. I know he's looked pretty good, and San Francisco's got a great defense, but he hasn't seen the bright lights yet. And you can go. We can go back in time with the Cowboys against Seattle when we had a no-name Tony Romo, and he had that Cinderella year, and they get in the playoffs. And man, when it came time to just hold that ball, just weird things happen. So I'm just saying, you just don't know. I think San Francisco wins that. To your point, I think they handle it, but I wouldn't be shocked if
and in that scenario, I mean, that'd be great if it worked. If it worked out that way. I mean, if Seattle upsets the 49ers and the Giants do indeed beat the Vikings, that means the Cowboys are at home for a game. Am I correct
Yeah,
in saying
no,
that? The
we're heading.
Cowboys
Yeah,
are
you would be heading
hosting
to AT&T.
and hosting the Giants, right? So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that would be the Giants would be coming to Dallas for a game, and how about that for the Cowboys nation to be able to host a playoff game against the Giants. So I mean that'd be a great scenario right there, and we could still end up getting the Eagles for the NFC Championship game. So
Yeah, no, that'd be fun. And Xavier Rhodes is going to be playing on Monday night. I think Kelly and I kind of talked about it. I think he might be starting. I don't know.
I think so. I think they got to be getting him up to speed, and I feel like, if he's not starting by the end of the game, he will be, because just from what we've thrown out there in past weeks, we just don't have anybody that looks worth a shit. I mean, it's scary, the guys we've put out there. So yeah, I think Rhodes is your guy on the outside, Bland's your slot corner, and then we've got, of course, Diggs on the other side.
Absolutely. So I don't know. I think we covered it all. I think we've said enough about Tampa. Now it's time for some action. Like I said, for me, Cowboys Nation, your boy's going to be at First Take. So if any of you guys are going, you give me a holler. I'll be there. Be at the game. We'll make this thing happen. We got the jersey. So we're going to hold it down. I know, Kelly, you talked about maybe you guys doing a pregame shot. Are you going to you're going to be getting something going with Cowboys?
Yeah. So I'm gonna look out for that on Twitter, Cowboys Nation. We're gonna be putting some stuff out there on Sunday. I'll go back through. I'm gonna make a list of everybody that has it. So we're gonna do a Zoom video and get everybody in on Zoom. I think we can only get like 100 people in at a time, so we may have to break that down into. I may be taking 2 or 3 shots before the game starts, just depending on how many people are tuning in, and that we'll find out. But it's really fun. We did it last year. Got a whole bunch of people. Got to put some faces to the names.
Yeah.
On Twitter, everybody got in there, kind of chatted a little bit. People were saying hi, whatnot. We got all taking shots, go Cowboys, and all that. So that should be fun. Kind of do that, and hopefully that kicks off something and gets us rolling into the Monday night with some momentum, and we take this first playoff win.
Yeah, well, I don't know what time you're gonna be doing them shots. So if you get one of them, just try and get me on an early one to see if I can.
I'll shoot you
from the tailgate.
I'll shoot you the link, man. Yeah,
need all the love, all the help, all the good vibes we need going into
absolutely, man, absolutely. We got, of course, we can't. I mean, if we're gonna be taking a shot with Cowboys Nation, we got to have the Godfather of hype in on one of these shots, man. If we can get you in, that's absolutely. I'll be shooting you a link for sure.
This guy says, Kelly, you need a channel. What's wrong with your boy? We can't do it together. He needs to be solo. We're like the Beatles. You want us to break up? What's going on here? Oh no!
You're gonna be MC. We're bringing MC on here though. She's Cowboys win next week.
That's not the MC. I got correct. This is that's not Megan. That's he corrected me. Sent me a tweet.
Yeah, okay. My bad. Yeah, it always gets me. No. I knew there was 2 of them that were out there. So okay, I know who that is now. I know who that is.
Yeah. So I get, it's tough when you're doing the Twitter and then you got you're on the YouTube and stuff. Sometimes I get some of the things confused, and it's so hard to remember. It's just there's so many great Cowboy fans and Cowboys Nation. It's hard to remember them all, and I will say I have the worst. I have a good face memory. If I met you 20 years ago, I'll recognize you. I won't know your name, but I'll know who you are. At least that we've met before. But names, I'm terrible with. And then when they do the handles, like yours is Kelly, so it helps me. Right? Kelly, mine's Mike. Makes it when they got all these weird things, it makes a difference. And
I know. When we were out at the Cowboys game, that home opener, I kept having people come up and they were telling me their Twitter handles, and I'm like, well, "What's your real name? What's your real name? Give me your real name so I can put a name to it." I don't. It's too many to remember sometimes.
No, absolutely. So my man Clarence, you missed Jerry. Jerry was on, and he answered a very important question. So you got to go back and you have to watch it.
Give it a watch.
You got to give it a watch. So we'll get rolling, Kelly. I think it's a waste of time to do it, but just let everyone know let them know where they can find you, just in case we got some new people on here that don't know. Well, they better ask somebody if they don't. But where can they find you?
Yeah, absolutely. You can always find me on Twitter. It's at Kelly K-9, Kelly_K_9. And yeah, I'm on. I always say that I got TikTok because I started dropping the videos on TikTok. I got to figure out what that is and start memorizing that because I don't know. But I'm
It's a
somewhere on.
long name. It's a long thing. Just
I don't
Kelly.
shorten that up. Got to
Yeah,
shorten it
but
up.
it's Kelly, right? You do
Yeah,
Kelly. What I
you
would
can
try,
find
I guess
Kelly
maybe you
Cowboys
couldn't
Nation.
do it. You couldn't keep the same name all the way. Like I was fortunate. I think mine's the same for Twitter, for
Yeah.
Instagram, and TikTok. And
Yep.
like I said, I don't know about you. I do TikTok videos. I post them, and then I never go back again
Yeah.
to any of the comments.
Oh, I know they're horrible. I feel like you get a whole lot more. I definitely get a whole lot more hate from the TikTok side of things when I post videos because man, they're brutal and they come back to things. I mean,
Oh no,
they
absolutely,
they
absolutely.
come back. There's been a few times and I'm looking back and I'm like, oh, gee, this dude coming on a video from like 3 months ago. He's talking about the Tampa Bay loss or something,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I'm like, damn, they're bringing that back up. So
Well, I mean, now we're gonna get dragging out. I apologize. I'll end it with, but I got to ask you this because I get this from Raider fans. They really have an issue with Cowboys Nation.
oh yes, all
You
the
get that
time.
a lot too? Okay.
I get it all the time. They're like, there's only one nation, it's
Yeah.
Raider Nation. I'm like, hey, listen, you ain't the fan police, and you don't tell me that because I know there's a hashtag on Twitter that says Cowboys Nation, and I promise you that nation is pretty goddamn big. So
Yeah, I always show I take a snapshot of at Dallas Cowboys handle and at Raiders and how many million are on each one, and it's embarrassing the difference between the two. But I had this guy, a Raider fan, telling me that we're one and done. And
oh
I'm
yeah.
like, dude, and I might have told you, we might have talked about it. You're one and done in the first game of the season. I mean, that's what I love. It's with the Cowboy haters. I mean, they just come out of the woodworks and they just they don't care how shitty their team is. They're going to just tell us how bad we are.
Yeah, no, I always get that too. I've seen that so many times. They're Raider Nation. It's not Raider Nation.
Yeah. What is Kelly's former team? What's that mean?
You know what? I think he may be referencing so I was on a show a while back earlier in the season. I think this season, maybe last season. So when I was, I think like 10 or 11, didn't have an NFL team at the time. Hadn't watched, I mean, because I fell in love with the Cowboys 92 when I watched that first Super Bowl, but I had me an Oakland Raiders starter jacket.
I got,
And,
well, I mean,
Jackson.
NWA, I mean, that's the,
NWA, Bo Jackson. I mean, so it was kind of one of those things where it was like, it was the cool thing because almost everybody I knew, there was a couple things. There was a Raiders starter jacket and you had the Chicago Bulls.
yes.
I mean, you were rocking both of those and, I didn't have loyalty to one team. So that was before then. So, but the Raiders were never my team. I wore the jacket because it was cool. I could name Bo Jackson. And actually, when we lived in Texas, back in Uvalde, Texas, Van McElroy was a linebacker back there, and he actually went to our church, and he lived in Uvalde, Texas. So my family was good friends with him. And we used to go to his house and stuff, have dinner and stuff like that. So I did know a former Oakland Raider back in the day. So that's kind of where that whole thing came from. But yeah, Raiders were never my team. Cowboys since day one, all the time.
Well, and I'll come clean. I've been a Cowboy fan my whole life. When I was whenever Herschel Walker played. So Herschel Walker was 86, 87 right there. I was a huge Herschel Walker. I've always been a fan of running backs. Emmitt Smith, Zeke is my favorite player. If you're going to, say who's your favorite Cowboy, it's Zeke. I've always been partial to running backs, for years. So Herschel Walker, when he got traded, so I must have been 75, 85. I was 13, 14 years old. Our friends across the street at my mom's house, she was from Minnesota, so he got traded to the Vikings. So we didn't have these jerseys. You had those mesh, half jerseys, and so she got me a Herschel Walker Vikings jersey, and I wore it one time. We were playing football in the streets, or we did something, and my mom took a picture of us, the kids. And there's in the background, you see me with this Herschel Walker jersey on that I was playing football and I was wearing it. And my brother threatens me every day that he is going to post it on Twitter to call me the fraud that I am. And I was like, so
Yeah.
you came clean. I'm going to come clean. I wore it one time. It was playing football. It was Herschel Walker. He just got traded, from the Cowboys to the Vikings. He was their missing piece. But I love Herschel Walker because if it wasn't for him, I don't know those three Super Bowls.
Greatest trade in Dallas Cowboys history.
It was. But
Yeah.
I will tell my brother's a Broncos fan. There's a good chance that trade is going to get broken by the Russell Wilson trade, depending on how those picks work out for Seattle.
Yeah.
They got a boatload of 1s, 2s, and 3s.
They did, man. The Seattle fleeced the Broncos. I guarantee you, if the Broncos could take that back, they'd do that in a heartbeat. That's not looking good right now.
No. So anyway, you guys stay tuned. You guys know the hype's going to be coming. You guys keep an eye on that on Saturday. I'm getting the mindset right. That's the beauty of did a show on Wednesday. Kelly and I were on someone's show. It was a great show. And we jumped on tonight. I'm going to rest. I go to my happy hour on Friday, get the mind right. Then Saturday, I just got to figure out, my wife's not here. I got to figure out who's going to record it. I got to see if my daughter or son will help pops out. Otherwise, I got to call the neighbor. I always wonder what the neighbors think when they hear this about 10 o'clock at night. They hear ranting and raving, but we'll see. So I'm going to leave you guys with a video. I played it on Monday with Jimmy D. That's the other thing. Make sure you check out, Jimmy D and I on Monday night. But this is a fitting video. I've got a few on here, so hopefully I picked the right one. This was after the Minnesota game. You listen closely, it kind of hopefully will get you up to speed for what we're going to be doing on Monday night and how we got to handle that business. So I will see you, Kelly. Always good. And everyone else, appreciate everyone jumping on.
Absolutely. Go Cowboys.
I know all the haters out there are having a very bad Sunday after witnessing this beating that we are giving this 8-1 Minnesota team. I told you it was going to happen. Bottom line, we all face adversity, and it's how you respond that matters. And this team just showed you how they respond. So I'm going to keep drinking that Kool-Aid all season long because we ain't done yet. So Cowboys Nation, you get ready. Thanksgiving Day, we're back at AT&T. We're taking on those Giants. We're going to handle that business. Can you feel me? Can you?